So, welcome friends. As you can see, today I have a guest, and this is Andrea.
Hi.
Welcome, Andrea.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. We were talking about just doing a spontaneous video, so we have not actually planned anything. But we will see what will happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But Andrea is herself going through a very profound awakening, and we have had a lot of interesting discussions here. Or I would not say discussions as such, but more some friendly chat where we have been talking about different aspects of the awakening process, if I can call it that. So it's not all just what to say, joy. Sometimes when we go through the awakening, sometimes we encounter some difficult stuff that we need to move through.
Yep.
And that is, I think, the main reason why you are here. That you had something that you would like to talk about with me.
Yeah.
But feel free to say whatever comes to mind.
There's a lot to say. I hope we're going to cut this out because actually I just want to say to the people out there that that the awakening and the awakening process, although it's not easy to go through, at the end of the day, it is definitely worth it. Definitely. I'll go back a little bit, just to tell a little bit of my story and how I actually turned up here. I lost my husband 2 years ago, and after that I wanted a few answers about why it was happening, about my suffering, and especially about who I really am. And whilst on this spiritual search, I came across your videos at the beginning of this year, and I found them to be pretty refreshing because the videos were pretty direct, no flowery language, and I actually resonated with them straight away. And so I actually stuck with them. What I ended up doing is I ended up going to your first video where you introduced yourself, and from there on I actually watched your videos from the very beginning to actually go through the sequence instead of hopping, because this hopping wasn't very conducive for me. It just got me confused. So I ended up starting your first video. And whilst I was going through your videos, I think I was watching, I can't remember, maybe one a day, one every 2 days. I didn't watch your videos as if they were entertainment. I actually watched your videos as if I was studying a piece of spiritual writing. That I watched it, I took notes. Sometimes it took me over 4 to 5 hours just to watch one video, because I was listening, contemplating, thinking about what you said. And then I used to let it sink in before I went on to the next video. And funny enough, within 1 month, roughly 1 month, 6 weeks of actually beginning to watch your videos in this manner, the awakening occurred. Watching one of your videos. And I remember sitting there. I stopped the video immediately. And I remember sitting there and just thinking, oh my God, this is what it's all about. It was just like, you can't describe it. It was just like clear seeing. And then I just started laughing.
Yeah.
I started laughing and I just couldn't stop laughing for the rest of the day. But at the end of the day, what happened was I was a bit cautious, because over the years of the spiritual seeking, I started developing a tendency of being cautious. Don't believe everything people say, even if they call you spiritual teachers. I was very, very cautious. What I ended up doing is I always ended up checking it out for myself. If that is what he says, or is that what she says, is that really true to my life? And that is what I ended up doing. And I think that really did help me, that I didn't believe the messages straight away.
No.
That it was like, it also was some sort of a protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, at the end of that day, before I went to bed, I remember thinking to myself, okay, this is an experience I had, but let's find out tomorrow morning if this wasn't just a spiritual experience or if it was really an awakening. Right. So anyway, I got up the next morning and it hadn't gone. It hadn't gone. The joy was there, inner peace, no more inner conflict. And it was just, it was completely different. And the heaviness had gone. The heaviness of the ego narrative had gone. It didn't come back. It didn't come back. So I went through this honeymoon period for 2 weeks, plus minus, where everything was clear seeing. But what actually happened on the third day, plus minus a day, is I realized that when I went back to the spiritual writings, that now I understood exactly what these people were trying to convey. There was no more doubt. There was no more. It was just clear. Yeah. It was just completely clear. And that was just like, whoa. Yeah. I actually had to sit down and just let this sink in. That I'm actually, after all these years of reading spiritual texts, of reading spiritual books, and it was like, yeah, I understand exactly what these guys are trying to convey. Exactly. And that was a really eye-opener, I must say. That was a real eye-opener for me. And then as the time went on, after the honeymoon period had was over, the ego narrative started reforming itself, which is normal, which is logical. I mean, if you've been carrying the story around for you for such a long time, it's just not going to drop off overnight. It started reforming, but it never ever had this impact, this tendency to rule over you, to have this number one position in your life. It wasn't there anymore. I was able to see through the thinking. There was like a separation. that you could watch your thinking.
Yeah.
You could watch it now. You could see what was going on.
Exactly.
You could actually see what was going on, where it was going to. I mean, I must admit, I did get caught up.
Yeah.
Now and then again.
Yeah. Normal.
You know, because you're also distracted by life itself. You're either distracted by your job, or you're distracted by when you're driving, or whatever you're doing. You're actually distracted by life itself. And then I was caught up now and then again. But luckily, I noticed it after a while that hang on a minute here.
I know what's going on here.
Yeah, exactly. I know what's going on here. And then luckily I was able to stop it.
Yeah.
But it is really in the beginning it is really how can I put it? Some sort of a practice. You always have to be really aware. Aware of what the ego narrative is actually trying to do, it's actually really trying to reform itself.
Yes.
I find it actually to be normal, because this is what you've been living with all your life.
Absolutely.
You know,
old habits.
Exactly. It's like the old habits.
Yeah.
And okay, so we'll leave it like that.
Yeah.
That part. But then what actually started happening was also I'll call it the personal will. The personal will started dropping away. This push, because the personal will has like this energy behind it, like it pushes you. That started dropping away, and the motivational force to do things, it wasn't there anymore. Yeah. It was really weird. It was really weird. Yeah. Not to have this push anymore. Yeah. This personal, it's really weird. You got to experience it yourself. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Now, of course, the how can I put this? Because your personal will is falling away, your motivation falls away. You don't have the center point anymore.
Yeah.
Because this ego narrative seems to be some sort of a center point where you go to make decisions, where you go to get your answers, where you go to whatever it is.
And you lose the direction in life that you used to have.
Exactly.
Yes.
Because it is falling away, the direction falls away.
Yeah.
And there you have, that is really a very, very strange feeling.
Yeah.
It's a bit what we would say surreal.
Yeah, but it's a rebirth.
Yes.
Yeah. Going
feels,
through a rebirth.
Yeah, it feels like going through the rebirth. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you starts to look upon everything with this fresh, pure vision, clear seeing, and then your task is to start to make sense of it all again with this clear seeing.
Yes. Yeah. That is the interesting part, because one of the interesting parts, because when you start, when your ego narrative starts falling away, because it does no longer occupy the mind, you start getting space.
Yeah.
You start getting space up here and here in your body, where all this old stuff's stored. Your true nature of what you really are is able to come through and start showing you what this is all about.
Yes.
What social conditioning is, what your ego narrative actually is, what the purpose is actually here, why we are actually here.
And you also when you see these automatic patterns within yourself, you come to learn that everybody is governed by these automatic patterns, and you learn, you come to see why the world is as it is, and it cannot be otherwise as long as we are in the dream state.
Yeah, as long as we're stuck there.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. But one thing I have to say, and that is, in order to get out of this dream state, in order to make yourself available for the awakening, you have to go through the fear.
Yeah.
You have to. You've got absolutely no choice. Oh yeah, and the other thing that I forgot to say, which is really important, and you will have no choice about this, no matter what you do after you've awakened, and that is, I'll call it, all your unfinished business that you had before you woke up. Like, for example, fighting with people, having unpleasant emotional experiences that you have not worked through, losing loved ones, like I did, losing my husband, and going through the pain. And if you haven't, I will just, for the sake of it, I will call it, if you haven't worked through that, after the awakening, you will have to work through that.
Yes.
You have absolutely no choice.
But you will do it in a completely different way.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why why we don't go through it, because from within the ego narrative, it is extremely painful to touch a lot of that. So it has just been tucked away.
Yeah.
But it will still be painful, much of it, but it will also be met with the clear vision and a lot of love and self-compassion and understanding, and we will understand the pain in a new way. So, but yes, we will have to work through that. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you'll have to. You actually have to work through that, because how can I put this? If you want to wake up fully, you can't have that. You can't have that stored in you.
No,
you can't. Otherwise, it won't work.
it's
like an energetic movement.
Yeah, and it will be sort of a baggage, very
Yes.
heavy baggage that
Yes.
will continuously slow you down mentally, and it will try to drag you back into the dream state.
Yep.
So it's old baggage.
Yeah.
So that will sometimes be painful, but also then when we move through it, then just on the other side, there is freedom and liberation.
Definitely.
Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you have no choice.
No.
You have no choice. You have to go through it.
Yeah.
You have to. There's life will not give you a choice. It will not. Because if we're really interested in awakening fully, we have to go through it. We cannot stop halfway. It's not possible. As a matter of fact, it's not possible to stop halfway when you feel like, oh, this is getting a bit too much for me. I can't handle this. But there's just no way.
I just want this because I want to feel a little better or something
Exactly.
like that. Yes.
It doesn't work.
That's not how it works.
No, it will not work, because life works on its own terms and not as the ego narrative.
No.
It's not interested.
It would it would love to be in control. The ego narrative.
No.
It never ever really attains control. Never.
Never.
So.
No.
And it has. And then the funny thing is that when it's seen through, it's also seen very clearly that we do not need to control anything. We do not need to try to control anything. We can just simply be a co-creator and let creativity flow. And
but the thing is, in this strange phase where your old way of living falls away, and you haven't really got your direction at the moment. You got to trust. You
Yeah.
really, really got to trust whatever's coming up. You've got no choice. You've got to trust whatever's happening, even if you have no idea what's going to happen next. You have to trust it, because that will eventually show you the way. It's just this phase, and
Patience.
patience. But this phase is normal. It's normal
Absolutely normal. Yeah.
because the old way of living has dropped away. It has died, but the new way hasn't quite arrived yet.
Yes, and still you live in a amongst other peoples who are behaving in the old way, and you are being bombarded by all those, and so yes, it is with patience.
Yeah.
Truth will eventually set us all free.
Yeah. Especially trust, and you got to trust. You really got to trust in this difficult period. You got to trust. Yeah.
So we have had a lot of interesting conversations, and I have enjoyed it. So, and we talked about turning on the camera, talking about this, and I think it went well.
For beginning, yes, I think so too.
I am very glad that you wanted to share the experience of what you are going through.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
It is important. I find it is actually important for people to know about this firsthand, because not a lot of how can I put this?
There's a lot of myths.
Yes, there's a lot of myths around it, and not a lot of people speak about it because it's not sexy. You're not able to sell it. But this is normal.
Yeah.
It's just, when it does happen to other people, just consider this to be normal. Okay, it's uncomfortable, but it's normal.
Yes.
It's normal.
Yeah.
That's the important thing, to realize that this is normal. This is not something freaky. It's just a normal process, growing out of your old way of
evolving,
of seeing the world.
Yeah, and we are evolving. Simply, this is what is happening here is a part of the human evolution.
Absolutely,
yes.
It is. It is. Yeah,
and
it is.
And it is seen very, very clearly that what is happening is that it is dawning upon us that the old way of living is simply dysfunctional. It will never deliver what it is promising.
Yeah.
Because actually what we are doing is that we are moving away from ourselves, and we are fragmenting ourselves, and we are competing, and that builds the whole narrative, very complex narrative of interwoven lies, and that is the dream state.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
But it has really been a pleasure.
For me also, actually.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes, and you are staying here a couple more days.
Yes.
But I'm when I start doing those online group meetings, I'm sure that Andrea will be joining us.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So this is not the last time that you have seen Andrea.
No comment.
So I hope you enjoyed our little conversation here, and yes.
Thanks.
Thank you, Andrea, and until next time.
Indeed.
Yeah. Bye.